Welcome everybody to How Fast Will It Go, and today we're dealing with the 1998 Toyota Supra RZ. Now this has 1601 horsepower, 1327 pounds-feet of torque from a 3.4 litre turbocharged inline 6 engine, and the car itself now weighs 2794 pounds. Now features all-wheel drive, and it can do 0 to 60 in 2.059 seconds and go on to 100 mile an hour in 3.837 seconds. So this is the original engine in this car, though obviously it had major upgrades to get that kind of power, including taking out the original twin turbochargers and putting in a single larger, more powerful turbocharger, which is why it's got so much power, far more even than I was getting out of this car, even with a bigger engine. So yeah, I do highly recommend upgrading the standard engine only if you want a lot of power. But yeah, outside of that, all the usual upgrades, including obviously all-wheel drive to help keep all that power in check. And yeah, it doesn't weigh all that much either, so yeah, let's get out there and see what it can do. Now this engine is obviously infamous even in real life for being able to generate a lot of power, but we're obviously not interested in how much power we actually have, and just more bothered about what kind of top speed we can get. High amount of horsepower or otherwise. So yeah, there we go. So 250 already. There's 265, 272. Oh dear, not seeing the mini there. Too busy looking at the speedometer, as you do on the series. So there's 273, 274. Did blip a bit there with the 274, but we have held it since, so definitely counting it. All-wheel drive there, inevitably providing a lot of understeer there, but it is somewhat necessary to keep a car that now has around 1300 horsepower more than it had originally. So yeah, it's only the reasonable option to go for, even if it is providing some handling issues. But we have already got to 274 mile an hour, which is well up there in terms of the best kind of cars in this series that we've had so far. Let's get around this roundabout and see if we can do any more with this really rather impressively quick car. Does sound rather good as well. Sounds a lot meatier than it did even originally. That's 250. 60, 273. Well, I have to admit, it's another one of those cars that has done really rather well in terms of being consistent on both sides, because we're, only 1 mile an hour off what we got before, which is not something that often happens on this series. It's generally this side of the motorway that produces a lower top end of the speed. So the fact we got 273 there is yeah, really good and a great sign of how relentlessly quick this car is, which I guess is no surprise considering it is easily one of the most powerful vehicles we've had on this series, despite being not even from the post 2000. But the handling is ultimately what's letting this car down, or my driving, one of the two, maybe a combination of both. But yeah, the all-wheel drive system there, obviously helping in terms of keeping the power in check, but certainly not helping in terms of keeping the speed around corners. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. So 274 mile an hour is our final top speed, which is still mightily impressive, especially for a car that is coming up to 22 years old now, and that is, yeah, no shame whatsoever getting that kind of speed out of a car as old as this, while also still dealing with the original engine, which is not something that is common among cars on this series. So yeah, 274 miles an hour puts it right in between the McLaren F1 GT and the Lamborghini Aventador LP700-4, which also obviously beats because it's 1 mile an hour ahead of that, as well as the McLaren P1, Ferrari 599 XX Evolution, Porsche 906 Carrera 6, Porsche 917 LH, Porsche 911 Carrera S, and as well as both Koenigsegg CC8S and the Agera. Slightly behind the McLaren F1 GT, like I said, but also behind the Rossion Q1, McLaren F1 and the Jaguar D-Type. But yeah, 274 mile an hour is not a speed to be ashamed of, especially considering it's nearly as old as the McLaren F1 GT, which is 1 mile an hour behind, and far older than the McLaren P1, Ferrari 599XX, and the 911 Carrera S, which it beats. So yeah, really impressed by this, and I really do like how much power you can get out of this standard engine. So yeah, give it a shot if you haven't already. It's obviously part of the auto show, or you can get it for free via the Eliminator game mode. But nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.